Hi there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the issue, and that is of course the suppressors. Now I've been working my way through the the new Vanguard Space Marines, really nice kits. They're going together super well, and I'd say the same thing for these guys as well. Everything went together just awesome. But there's a lot of people that have got issues with the length of the crazy suppressors autocannon, and I would actually tend to agree. Now, I've seen a whole bunch of different conversions and all that where they're actually, cutting this piece off and they're replacing it with rotor cannon bits, which looks awesome and all that. But I think it still should behave like an autocannon. Now, for me, my biggest issue is the fact that I just don't think it's that practical as a jump marine. I do a lot of hiking, and anything that's kind of long, that kind of sticks out of your pack or whatever, like a pole or something, you just get caught up in the trees all the time. The other one is if anybody's ever seen a dog, grab a stick and try and run between two trees with the stick between its mouth, they just smack in there, and it's kind of funny trying to see them negotiate that particular thing. So instead of doing a full-on replacement like the rotary cannons and other stuff that I've seen there, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this through, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, obviously, we can just cut it and glue it, but I figured it'd be a good excuse to walk you through how to do some pinning. So I'm going to clip this out using my clippers and trim it down and all that, and then we'll do the cut, and I'll show you how to pin. Okay, so I've got the autocannon here. And all I'm going to do is you can use a saw or like a jeweler saw, something like that. But I'm actually just going to go in here and with my clippers go as flat as possible. Okay, and then I'll do the same for the part of the autocannon. Now, what I like about this here is it still kind of behaves in a very distinctive or looks and feels like an autocannon. Which is what we want. We want that cool kind of custom muzzle brake on there and all of that. So I'm just going to sand it down now with just a regular nail file. Okay, and try and flatten that out. Now you could use your hobby knife as well if if it kind of came down to it. I like the file because it's kind of a larger plane to play with as opposed to just trying to trim it with your files there. Or sorry, trying to just trim it with your hobby knife. All right, perfect. Okay, so now I got these two pieces, and quite literally, I'm just going to take this piece here and attach that kind of stably to this. Now, my reference for this is going to be the there's a whole bunch of different varieties of them, but kind of common modern military for a light support weapon. They've got machine grenade launchers where you like tuk 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 and just throw out a whole bunch of shots, and I think that's very much what we're going to be going for in terms of these guys offering support. It's a little bit more fluffy as well. They're kind of jumping in and then tap 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 tap. They kind of jump off a bunch of these rounds. They're meant to be for light vehicles. They're meant to be for laying down kind of suppressing fire. Go figure, suppressor guys. So that's what I'm going to go for. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just end up pinning this. Now I could glue this and hold it, but sometimes it gets a little fragile, even if we're using like a plastic weld. So I'm going to grab a paper clip here. Now the paper clip is just everyday garden variety paper clip. Obviously if I do this I can test to see that it'll fit, and it'll fit just fine. Perfect. And then I'm going to make sure that my bit on my pin vise matches it as well, and I can see here it's a pretty solid fit. I know from experience that these work, but I just want to kind of show you kind of how I match that up, if I can do that in front of the camera. So you want the bit maybe to be just a shade bigger or about the exact same size. Now, drilling is one of those things you can't really just eyeball it. So what you do is you kind of look from a couple different directions and make sure it's lined up, and then you just slowly kind of start your drill. Now, if you were concerned that you weren't going to get that kind of middle mark, what I've done in the past is taken my hobby knife and I've just done like a little crisscross in here with that target being the center, and it will actually hold that pin vise in long enough for you to kind of get it started anyway. All right, perfect. So you can see here that that should fit no problems. All right, excellent. Good job. All right, and then the other piece that we're going to do now is this one here. Now again, if you're not feeling too steady, you can always start with that crisscross with the Make sure I'm centered here. Yeah, always rotate around, take a look. You can start with that crisscross on that flat section that you filed, and it should be good as well. See, it's not perfectly straight, but it shouldn't be too bad. You can always kind of muck around as you go. All right, now you don't want to go too deep. You don't want to go to the other end. You want the bulk of the holding to be done against the pin in particular. All right, perfect. Now, how do I measure this out? Well, people get creative with Sharpies and all kinds of stuff. So this is just kind of in, not too far off, like maybe about there. So I don't need a whole lot of room there. And I've got the larger piece here. So you'll see if I needed to, I could drill like all the way back to here, which I don't need to right now. So I'll start with this guy. So I'll stick it in there to make sure that it's a good kind of fit. And then I'll take wire cutters or any kind of jeweler's pliers here. So just for comparative sake. And I'll use the clippy piece kind of right in here. All right, and I'll go right around. Doesn't have to be super long. Perfect, so right around there. So you'll see that there's not a whole lot of extra going on with this here. All right, perfect, so I'll just double check to make sure I got enough gap in here. Oh, you'll see, look, that's why you always double check before you glue. I need a little bit more either clipped off, which is tough to do, or I'll just drill a little bit deeper inside here. Okay, give it a good drilling in here. Okay, perfect. Clean it all out nice. All right, let's test it again. All right, there's one. A little tricky. Okay, here we go. Still not enough. Yeah, just a little bit more. Maybe I'll drill a bit in on this one. I try not to drill on this one too much because it, well, to be honest, you don't have a whole lot of screw-up room on this side. Okay, so retesting, it looks good. So I just want to make sure that it's all lined up nice and that I didn't screw it up too badly. Okay, perfect. Now, normally it's plastic to plastic, and I could do that, but I want something to bond to the pin as well to give it a little bit of rigidity. So believe it or not, I'm actually going to use super glue for this. So I'm just going to score up very gently, just kind of give the glue something to hold on to, and then I'll do the same with this guy here. Just a little bit of a score up. Nice little thread there. Tape's coming off. All right. So now I'll take my super glue and I'll just put the tiniest little dot on there, and then I'll work that in with the paper clip here. Just kind of tuck it in, just get all the air bubbles out, and then I'll do the same thing on this guy. Just a little bit here. There you go, just a drop. Okay, and then I'll get my gun pinned up just so. All right. So obviously there's going to be a little bit of excess there, but that's okay. I'll wipe that off with a cloth here. Alright, so I'm super pleased with the way it turned out. It looks a lot more like that grenade machine gun and less like that crazy long autocannon. Definitely a little more practical. It also balances out the model super well because you can see that you got the big kind of, belt coming off the side, and you can see that the visual weight is totally balanced out now by that kind of snub-nosed, kind of, long-range autocannon. We kept the same head, so we still get that distinctive kind of difference to it. Even after we've mounted the smoke launchers on the bottom, it still looks pretty decent. I'm really liking the end effect of it. So I guess there's only one thing for it. I'll model up the rest of the guys, and yeah, it'll look pretty sweet as these guys are kind of flying around. So that's it. That's all. Super simple. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope this video works out for you, and it gives you a different perspective maybe on these suppressors here. If you like the video, obviously hit the like button. If you want more videos just like this, you can subscribe. That's awesome. And there's the little bell notification right beside it as well. And we also have a brand new join button if you want to go the next step in kind of furthering the channel here. All the proceeds get dumped right back into the channel, whether it's lighting or terrain for some of our up and coming games or what have you. Everything kind of goes in there. So that's all. That's it. We'll catch you guys in the next video.